What a crap full of fuck platypus.
Shots of 7 commentaries. What's up, guys? This is Shots of 7 here with an all new commentary. This is going to be another commentary on a commentary, and it's also on a video regarding the Sonic fan base. Oh joy. The video I'm going to be commentating on is by Sonic and Tails for Life, and his commentary on Shadowstar 1224's Sonic fanbase rant. Now I know what you're all thinking, that I'm going to defend Shadowstar from yet another old school Sonic Fag. Well, that's not entirely true. I mean, heck, Shadowstar's most recent videos have gone way downhill ever since he made that commentary on Slap Happy Gamer. But just because somebody does a commentary on said person doesn't mean the video itself will be good. And my main intention of this commentary is to show Sonic and Tails for Life why I don't approve of his commentary. So, let us get this started.
Sonic the Hedgehog. I'm pretty sure you know him. His name is worth over $1 billion. I'm pretty sure you know his fanbase as well. I hear, oh, Sonic is dead, and Sega sucks.
Despite the fact that it's Sonic Team who makes the games, and Sega only publishes them.
All the time now. Screw Attack voted Sonic 06 as the worst game of the decade.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to say Screw Attack is wrong on that fact, am I?
You're not, but I am. Sonic 06, one of the games it was up against was Big Rigs. Now, are you saying that Sonic 06 is a worse game than Big Rigs? For all its flaws, Sonic 06 was at least playable, and it had a purpose to it. But Big Rigs was just an unappealing mess, with no rules or objectives, it crashed regularly, and it was even more unfinished than Sonic 06. It's pretty obvious which game is worse here.
From 2000 to 2010. And most of the people's arguments were that it was because it was not as good as 2D Sonic.
No, most people's arguments were that the game sucks because it was glitchy, had terrible controls, and terrible level design.
But did you see the Screw Attack saggies? Because I can show you the clip where they said Sonic 06 was the worst game of the decade. Now take a listen.
Sonic the Hedgehog! What was supposed to be the big return back into the limelight, the self-titled Sonic the Hedgehog turned out to be one of the glitchiest games in the history of ever. After dominating the 90s, the fall from grace happened so fast that gamers are still in shock. It's amazing what horrible games can do to a reputation. A two-time SAGgy winner this year, Sonic also took home Worst Wii Game of the Year with Sonic and the Black Knight. Once thought of as a video game legend, Sonic is now just a shell of his former self and is laughed upon by gamers everywhere. My, how the mighty have fallen.
If you listen, you'll notice that they only talked about glitches for 3 seconds. The rest of the complaints were nothing to do with bad game design, but it was just bitching and moaning about how the game destroyed Sonic's legacy and how Sonic used to be awesome. So Shadowstar at least did his research here, and you should have done it as well before ranting on him.
So you're hating a game because of some outside factor? That's like hating Super Smash Bros. Brawl and thinking it to be the worst game of the decade because a certain website ruined it for you. Yes, people say that.
Well, let's just get one thing straight. Brawl's a good game, but Sonic 06 is not.
That's a matter of opinion whether Brawl is a better game than Sonic 06. I have a friend who doesn't like Super Smash Bros. Brawl very much and likes Sonic 06, but it's just his opinion, and he does give fair reasons as to why he likes Sonic 06 and Brawl not so much, so I'm okay with that.
When I was on Screw Attack, I finally, after Sonic winning the award, asked, why do people hate New Sonic? They said, the games suck. Well, one guy said that.
And the sad part is that guy's right.
But it doesn't excuse the fact that he just said the games suck with zero elaboration as to why they suck.
Another guy said it was because it did not have the momentum that the other games had, meaning running fast despite all obstacles. Now, I'm going to admit it. I prefer Sonic in 3D. Seriously.
Hey, that's just your opinion, and I'm cool with that. However, if you were to say that to an old school Sonic Fag, they would call you a moron and claim that you're not a proper Sonic fan just because you like the new generation Sonic better.
As a side note, I said that on Screw Attack, including seriously, and someone still asked me if I was joking.
Well, the first question I would ask is if you are high at the moment.
See what I mean? He tries to be civil, he tries to explain why he has a difference of opinion, and the first thing these old school Sonic Fags do is bash on him just for liking what they don't. Another reason why the Sonic fanbase is in shambles.
Do I need to define what seriously means to them? I learned that in kindergarten. If you are asking if I am joking about this, I will block you.
Well, someone's a little sensitive.
Anyway, one of the reasons I prefer 3D Sonic is this. You're running really fast, going through shuttle loops, and wham, you hit spikes on the wall and die. That happens a lot.
Yeah, if you suck at the games, maybe, but if you're good at the games, that doesn't happen to you.
But I think the point that Shadowstar is trying to make is that the older games relied too much on trial and error, and hey, there are some obstacles that nobody's going to be able to dodge on their first go. It's when you adapt to the level design where you can go through the levels without that happening, but if you're just starting the levels for the first time, then what Shadowstar mentioned probably will happen to you. And my point being that he does have a legit point.
Would you rather have that, or this?
I believe I will take the running into spikes for 2,500, Chauncey.
Okay, so anyway, I tried reasoning with them, because an opinion means nothing if you cannot argue it, or say why it is your opinion, and they denied me. They mostly talked about Sonic 06. I only played Sonic's first level of that game.
Then you're in no position to judge.
Says who? While I do agree that it is always better to play through the whole game before judging it, Shadowstar at least played some of the game, a full level. Add to the fact that he does do a lot of research on the games, even if he may not have completely played them, so he is allowed his say on the game, and it's not entirely worthless.
But it was fun, especially the part where Sonic went fast.
Well, guess what? People with a brain don't like glitches, bad controls, bad level designs, Sonic moving incredibly slow.
What?
Sonic moving incredibly slow.
Did you even get to the marked speed zone at that stage? Because Sonic goes pretty fast in that section. Heck, Shadowstar even showed footage of it. And also, the way you said that last sentence, it was almost implying that you're saying we don't have a brain if you like Sonic 06. Ugh.
This guy is unfucking believable.
And let's not mention the part where you play as Tails in that level.
I also added to not tell me dying 2 times on the mock speed part was 2 times too many. I died 2 times. Because everyone dies in video games. Guess what they said. But it is 2 times too many.
I wouldn't say it's the fact of them dying, I would say it's the fact of the way they were dying, you know, by hitting invisible walls that should not be in the game in the first place.
I then sarcastically said I beat Mega Man or some other game famous for difficulty on my first try. And guess who was made fun of? Me. Idiots in large numbers is scary, isn't it?
Well, not as scary as someone as stupid as yourself.
Unnecessary insult for the loss.
I understood you cannot bat 1,000 in video games the same time I learned what seriously meant in kindergarten. This isn't a rant about Screw Attack, though, so let's go on to other people. Like I said before, idiots in large numbers are scary. I never win an argument I am outnumbered on, no matter how flawed they are. For example, they told me Shadow the Hedgehog sucked because of the ratings it got. I told them that they were ignorant critics that made these reviews, because I saw all of them, and it made no sense to me. Oh, the controls are too loose. It does not take that long to get used to. Oh, it has guns. Don't pick them up. Besides, don't you love first-person shooters?
I'm beginning to think you're too dumb to insult. First off, the controls are bad. They don't respond that well. When they say they're too loose, that means they're sloppy. They're bad, they're unresponsive.
I had no problems with the controls. As I said before in my X-Play commentary, they just take time to get used to.
Second of all, you need the guns in Shadow the Hedgehog to complete most of the puzzles. And the guns shouldn't be in the game because it's a platformer, not a first-person shooter. Those are two different genres.
Okay, I don't really see your point here. Just because the game's a platformer doesn't mean it has to have a no-gun policy. The first-person shooter genre isn't the only genre of games that's allowed to have guns, you know. So if that's the best argument you have against the guns being in the game, then that's pathetic.
This guy is unfucking believable.
One more thing about Screw Attack. I know, I talk about it too much, but anyway. I asked why they thought Metroid was a better game than Shadow the Hedgehog. And they said, because it is.
I don't know, it could be because Metroid has good controls and good level design. What? And good level design.
Are you saying Metroid, one of the most confusing and cryptic games at the time, had good level design? That game had no map system, the navigation in the levels was dreadful, and until I saw Shadowstar's review, I never knew how many critical design faults the game had. If that's your definition of good level design, then you must love Mylon's Secret Castle.
Before I go on, what is the definition of a fan? In my words, it means someone who likes something. These fans hate Sonic in 3D. Hate Sonic, Sonic fan. I saw someone on YouTube who was like this named Darkness the Curse, whose logic made no sense. He hates Sonic Riders and Shadow the Hedgehog because of loose controls. It says Sonic Riders Zero Gravity, a game that controls took longer for me to get used to than the first Sonic Riders. Says, oh, it just takes time to get used to. It's the same thing, darn it.
You know what, you do have a point. Those are all three bad games.
Again, with this slur of bashing modern Sonic games. Now, I know you might be saying, well, that's just his opinion. Yeah, well, it's the way he says it. He states his opinion as if it's a fact, and that anyone who thinks otherwise is wrong. And saying it that way can really make you come off as a jerk.
You have the prequel, Sonic Riders, the sequel, Sonic Riders Zero Gravity. Both suck, and don't get me started on Shadow the Hedgehog.
And the people that like some 3D games, don't get me started. They are all pretty much the same. The mainstream ones, anyway. Running, flying, gliding, shooting, that's all. So to like Sonic Adventure 1 and hate Sonic Adventure 2 is trivial.
Yeah, it's just too bad there are very few people out there that are that stupid.
Now, some of the other games, like Sonic 06, I can see people hating for glitches, and Sonic Unleashed for the Werehog. But if you like one of the following games but not the others, something is wrong with you because they are way too close. Sonic Adventure, Sonic Adventure 2, Sonic Heroes, and Shadow the Hedgehog.
Shadowstar, this was one of the biggest problems I personally had with this video. When you said the games were similar, you could have elaborated on as to how they were similar. You might know, but that doesn't mean everyone else will. So if you don't elaborate, then you would have a point, but nothing to back it up.
I hate to break it to you, you fucking idiot, but Sonic Heroes and Shadow the Hedgehog are completely different from each other. The only thing that's similar with them is the graphics and the voice acting.
Sonic Heroes was the last Sonic game to use the original voice cast, and Shadow the Hedgehog was the first one to use the 4Kids voice cast. Get your facts straight before trying to prove a point.
People say Sonic is dead, but he was in much deeper trouble than this before. Sega Master System, anyone? Sonic 2 on the Master System is one of my least favorite games of all time. Why? You could walk through some walls, rings were harder to get, the boss at each stage gave you no rings. One hit and you died.
So you hate games with a challenge to them.
Sonic and Tails for Life, that wasn't what Shadowstar said. He complained about some glitches in the game. the game being stingy with rings, and the bosses being annoying and frustrating. He wasn't complaining because it was challenging, he was complaining because the game was too annoying. And if you want another reason why Sonic 2 for the Sega Master System sucks, if you don't get the good ending, Tails dies.
And how you couldn't fit into one area when you were underwater, and you drowned it.
What English, motherfucker, do you speak?
That part seemed fine to me. So, what was the point of using that clip?
Second, Super Monkey Ball is in much more trouble. If you played Super Monkey Ball 1 and 2, good for you. They were awesome, weren't they?
What does Super Monkey Ball have to do with this entire topic?
It's called a comparison. When people say that Sonic is a dying franchise, but he's trying to argue against that, he used another series as an example. There's nothing wrong with that.
Also, Sonic Unleashed sold 5 million copies. If you need help figuring out how much that is, count to it. Pause this video and count to 5 million. I'll wait. If you counted at the rate of a number per second, it would take, without resting, almost 2 months. If the series is dead, why is it selling so well?
That still doesn't change the fact that only half of Sonic Unleashed is considerably good, and sales don't determine the quality of a game, they just determine that Sonic's still really popular.
I hate to break this to you, Shadowstar, but he's right. Sales don't determine a good game quality. I mean, if that was the case, then the Klonoa series is a piece of shit.
Are we done yet?
I really hope so.
Nope.
Oh, god damn it, I can't take much more of this.
There are people who complain about everything about Sonic, from his eye color to his voice. Many people have talked about this before, so I'll make it short. Big deal. If Sonic sounded like Martin Burke again, I'd see your anger. But Jason Griffith is okay.
No, the fuck he's not. All the 4Kids voice actors suck dick.
God damn it, this is yet another reason why I hate the Sonic fanbase, because the fans always have an annoying habit of bringing up old shit from the past that we try to forget about. In this case, the 4Kids voice actors. Here we are, trying to forget about it, but Sonic and Tails for Life just won't let it go, and he brings it back up again. I'm going to sum up the 4Kids voice actors in 2 words. Mixed bag. You have some good voices, like Knuckles, Eggman and Shadow, and Sonic I guess. Okay voices, like Amy, Silver and Omega. Then we have bad voices, like Tails, Rouge and Vector. But saying that all the 4Kids voice actors are bad is unfair. And seeing as this video was made after the 4Kids voices quit, I think it's disgraceful that people like Sonic and Tails for Life are still bitching about it.
I don't believe this guy.
Finally, Sonic changing. People hate it, right? Imagine if every video game changed. Let's imagine Shigeru Miyamoto said, "Oh hey guys, let's put Mario in outer space." Sounds horrible, right? That idea became Super Mario Galaxy, one of the highest rated games of all time according to critics.
You know what? You're right. Change is good. For example, Sega and Sonic Team. Hey guys, let's give Sonic a sword! That idea became Sonic the Black Knight, one of the worst games in Sonic's history.
But what you failed to mention is there's a difference between concept and execution. The way you said it implied that giving Sonic a sword was what made it one of the worst Sonic games ever. Well, I thought the concept sounded kick-ass myself, but it was the execution though which killed the game, not the concept. Go figure.
What about putting Call of Duty in modern times? I'm sure you know what came out of that. 20 million online gamers in Modern Warfare 2.
Hey guys, let's put Sonic in a world where he interacts with humans. You know what came out of that? One of the worst animes ever created, Sonic X.
Yes, I say Sonic X is one of the worst animes ever, for I am judge, jury and executioner. In all seriousness though, you may hate Sonic X, but there are a lot of people who like it, and hey, it's better than Sonic Underground.
If you disagreed with anything in this video, leave a comment, but argue your opinion. Did I say once in this video, the game sucked, or it was good, without saying why?
Let me show you how to have a good argument, you stupid fuck. For example, hey guys, I like Sonic SatAM. Why do I like Sonic SatAM? Because it has a good story. The story is based on the freedom fighters, Sonic, Princess Sally, Tails, Bunny, and a whole bunch of other characters trying to retake over their planet from Dr. Robotnik, who has already succeeded in roboticizing most of the inhabitants of the world. The character development is good. It shows how Sonic goes from being an immature, playful person who doesn't take anything serious to a person that can actually buckle down and handle matters in a serious way. You see, that's how you hold an argument.
Okay, that argument was good, but it was implying that Shadowstar never made any good arguments himself, which he did. But you just didn't agree with him, so you resorted to calling him stupid.
Besides saying when 4 of the games were alike? Not really.
And you were flawed in that too. I already explained how Sonic Heroes and Shadow the Hedgehog are not alike.
Wait, did you? Let's replay that part of the commentary again.
I hate to break it to you, you fucking idiot, but Sonic Heroes and Shadow the Hedgehog are completely different from each other. The only thing that's similar with them is the graphics and the voice acting.
There you go. You didn't explain how they were different. You just said that they were, and then said the similarities. You didn't go into detail on the differences the games had, which you later said you did.
And Sonic Adventure 1 and 2 are completely different games.
One last thing. The same people who have been ranting, begging Sega to make a good 2D Sonic game, have boycotted Sonic 4. Why? Just because he looks different? Longer legs? I mean, I know it takes place before Sonic Adventure 1.
God damn it, that guy was freaking stupid.
Hear the pot calling the kettle black?
Okay, video over.
Okay, so now to give my final thoughts on both Shadowstar and Sonic and Tails for Life. Starting with Shadowstar. This video was made back when he made his videos in his infamous monotone voice, and also when his mic quality wasn't really up to par with what he has now. So that being said, it was a bit hard to keep interest in his video, but the core arguments he had were pretty solid. I mean, he argued his points fairly, and he made some logical explanations. I mean, there were a couple of things I disagreed with, and I think he probably could have elaborated on some of his points better. But aside from that, he didn't do too bad. I give him a B. Now for Sonic and Tails for Life. Oh boy, how do I sum this guy up?
He's an asshole.
Yeah, that pretty much states it. He was being an ignorant douche, he didn't respect Shadowstar's opinions on the games, and his commentary just didn't seem to have any purpose to it. He rarely gave any constructive criticism, and pretty much 90% of his commentary was made just to slam the guy. That being said though, he did make a couple of good points which I agreed with, and I have seen worse commentators out there, but I think one of the other main things that holds this guy back is how much of a superiority complex he gives himself. He states his opinions as if they're facts, calls Shadowstar stupid for having a difference of opinion, and he always acts like he's so much better than Shadowstar when really he's not. Because of this commentary, he's pretty much made himself out to be an ignorant Sonic Fag who thinks that everything he says is 100% fact. And I don't like those types of people. So this is Shadowstar saying goodbye, peace out, and I can't wait for episode 4 of Klonoa Dream Bullet.
It's official. You suck.